Well, there's still a good bit of summer left. We're September 21st is the last day of summer, and we're about August 20th, so still another month of summer, but you definitely start to feel things changing. And you see either goes towards hurricane and tropical weather, or we start to get more shifting of the winds. You know, we'll start getting some northeast winds, and kind of a mix of the typical summer southwesters, and then we'll get some more northeasters typically. And it's summer. There's no question that it's summer, but you start to feel some changes, and the sun, see, is starting to set. You can tell now a little more towards the south. It's going to set over the point there in Shoes rather than over here over the water like it was during the peak of summer, or the beginning of summer, I should say. I say the peak of summer, the beginning of summer. So these August days are often humid, and there's still long days. There's still plenty of sunlight, but you start to notice that the sun's going down a little earlier, and but the evening and the twilight last a long time. It seems like it's pleasant, kind of quiet time of year. I mean, there's still a lot of tourism, but people are starting to go back to school now, and college students are back in school, and some of the primary schools and secondary schools are starting, depending on where you're at. And it's been so hot. Usually in August, it seems like the animals have sort of done their thing, and they're a little more quiet and less active because of the heat. Look at that beautiful dragonfly. It's a red one, a red dragonfly. And so yeah, I mean, we can have all kinds of weather in August. It's not like there's one specific type of weather that we have to have, but it does seem like the winds aren't as, I don't know how to explain it. It's maybe because the sun doesn't come up quite as early in the morning, and maybe because there's some, or maybe it's because the things have started, we're getting so late into summer that things have kind of started to equalize. Like the temperature gradients maybe have started to, like the water temperature is really hot right now, and air temp's hot, and it's humid, and the ground's hot, and maybe it's because there's so much equilibrium, because the winds seem to not as often in August seem to be as strong and brisk as they are, or as they are back in July. It just seems to me, it's not like that. I'm not saying it's like that all the time. We had some really strong southwest winds a week ago, and it was really hot, and those southwest winds, they start off calm in the morning and they build up through the day because of the heat rising off of the water, and that starts to help cool things off a lot. And now we had some rainstorms because of all of that. I don't know. It seems like these end of summer days, though, because it can be kind of muggy and kind of calm, and animal life seems to be kind of quiet. It's just kind of a still time. There's other interesting things about humans and people and activities too. I believe that August is like the slowest time in the stock market also, like over year. And people are just like everything seems to be like hitting sort of a calm, like it's just like let's just slow down our activities here and get ready to adjust for fall. And then people kind of go really hard during the fall. Things pick up, and then and then everybody's ready to take a break at the holidays. And everybody takes a big break at the holidays, and then they kind of muddle through the first part of the year, just waiting for that warm weather to come, and then springtime's come, and everybody gets kind of, the birds and the animals and the people all start chirping and getting ready to go. We're getting everything all ready for summer, and it's just kind of a neat cycle of life to sit here and try to just kind of observe it and feel it. It really affects our, our spirit and whatnot. And if you were to kind of look at like postings and things from people down in Australia, where it's wintertime right now, and in other parts of the world in the southern hemisphere, you can kind of see the things that they're talking about and doing, and all are, it has a different sense and a different demeanor towards it. It's just the cycles of life and the cycles of the years. We should absorb all of it and kind of get some kind of connection to both the outside world, nature, and our inner self, and we can kind of feel that merging of the outside and what's beyond us, and we're a part of, we're connected to, but what we see and what we feel and what we sense as part of a community and a society, and also as part of the natural world. And then how does that make us feel inside, and that inside connection into the outside? And it's really cool. Look at this sunset. Wow. Isn't that beautiful? That is so beautiful. Oh, it's golden. It's like a golden sunset. A lot of sunsets. There's a lot of purple in that too on the edges, but that's what I guess we call a golden sunset. It's got some red. The red is a big component of making gold. The color gold. That's a lot of red. Red. If you were mixing your paints. But that's a beautiful sunset. It's not the typical. When the sun gets lower, a lot of color might burst out as it gets a little lower, but which is still going to be a while. I'm not going to be able to sit here and wait for it to go all the way down. This is still a good bit of time. But right now, it's a beautiful just reflection off of the water. It'll make a great painting. Anyhow, I love you, and just thank God for every day, and enjoy it and absorb it, connect with it, get enjoyment out of the work that you do, and get enjoyment out of the time you spend with other people, and the enjoyment out of the time you get to spend just connecting with the world around you, with nature, and also the things that you do that are your own things, your creative things, the things that you put together and synthesize is a good word. What synthesize means to bring things together. And that's a big part of creativity, is the synthesizing of ideas from all the inputs that you have. So that means also to put good things into your brain, to spend your time reading productive things, or doing activities that are productive and exercise your body and your mind in a positive way. Spending time with people who are endeavoring towards things that have, meaningful outcomes, or positive outcomes, or things that, are going to be better for the world. That doesn't mean that everything has to be about some sort of, sometimes people get caught up in the idea of like what they say doing good. Now, I don't mean that you shouldn't do good, but a lot of doing good does not require saying I'm doing good or making some effort to just do good. It just means to do things that are productive and positive on the whole. I mean, that's as good as you can do when all those when people do those work in that way, and it cumulatively, everybody makes mistakes, and not everything goes down the path that you want it to go down, and everything has positives and negatives to it. I mean, you can't overanalyze, but it's just that cumulative effect of people generally trying to do, productive things, positive things, whether it's economic things that are part of like work and finance, and what I mean by that is things that produce income, or transactional things that where money's involved. That's obviously an important place to be trying to do good, to be doing your positive, because a lot of bad stuff happens because of greed around those types of things. But it's also all the things that are not directly related to economics, or everything's related to economics if you really understand what economics is. But what I mean is like the financial part of economics, the actual, like raising children and those sorts of things. That's a higher purpose. Obviously involves money, and it involves those types of things, but you're really, impacting a human being and a human being's mind. And how you a school teacher, I mean, obviously they have a job and they're getting paid, but they're the actual part of their job and what they're really doing with or without the money is, how are they doing the thing that they're doing to really have a huge impact on the world, and how they teach people. Teaching is when it's done well, is hugely beneficial to both the teacher and the student. Teaching is extremely important in the learning process for both the teacher and the student. People who teach something learn it also very well. But other things too, just whatever it might be. It can be anything. Doing artwork, even if it's artwork that you're not selling. Good artwork really can inspire and make people. It can make people happy. It can give people a lot of peace when people see beautiful artwork, or it's just not even beautiful. I mean, it doesn't even have to be beautiful. Just artwork that has a story to it, or a feeling to it. It makes the world a better place. Same thing with people who make music, even people who aren't professional musicians. It has a big impact on community. It's experiences and things like that for people. But the sun, it just comes here for us, and it's just there. God, the universe, just provides this, right? Look how big of an impact it is. Maybe an artist needs to capture that and either in a photograph or a painting or in a story or in a poem, or maybe in a movie. A sunset can be the inspiration for a movie, and then spread that around, and it's a positive thing for people. Goodness, that's so beautiful. Well, I love you. And be thankful. Be thankful, be grateful. I love you.